All right, this is fun. Let's talk about parenting, right? So you were parented very strictly when you were a kid.
Yeah.
And now you're a psychiatrist. So looking back at how your parents treated you, was it right? Was it wrong? I mean, obviously you did well for yourself, so they did a lot right. But what were maybe some things that were a little extreme?
So there was a lot of things that were good, a lot of things that were bad. And doing well doesn't necessarily mean happy. A lot of times people think doing well is financially you're better off than I am as a parent, which, that's something that, you have to take really carefully, because you ultimately want a person that's going to be happy. So when I was parented, it was very much that grades were important. Now, whether I listened to that parenting, I didn't figure things out until I got a little bit older. I had a
late bloomer.
I had a good time.
Okay. That's okay. But that's how you can relate to people still.
Oh, yeah.
You did it all.
Yeah, if it weren't for the things that my parents put in my life or people that they put in my life, I would not be where I am today. So I think everything that they did, good and bad, because it makes me who I am today.
One day your dad took you to Skid Row in Los Angeles.
Yeah. So that was really interesting. And you got to understand that my dad came from a huge family. And, when we're talking about, basically, humble beginnings, and ended up doing really well for himself. And I screwed up. I was getting decent grades, but at the parent-teacher conference, the teacher said that I was talking a little bit too much. So my dad decided to pick me up in the morning. When I say pick me up, I mean literally pick me up and say, hey, we're going to go on a little ride. And we hopped in this, ostentatious Porsche and drove to Skid Row. And I was terrified because I had never been there. I'd only heard that, and he basically wanted me to talk to someone about, the importance of education, the importance of having a standard.
So instead of having you talk to a professor or some highly educated person, he decided to go and take you to Skid Row.
Yeah, he would give me the example of, hey, this is the opposite of what you want to have happen. Now, if me talking in class, would that actually end up being on Skid Row? Probably not.
Probably not.
It's like, wow, that was aggressive.
Yeah, but that was a gamble. I mean, who knows what the stranger was going to say? He might have said, hey, life is free out here. You never know.
Yeah. Well, yeah, absolutely. And the thing about it, I don't even think my mom knew about this. So she'll find out about it right now. I appreciate that experience, but at the same time, I think about it, that was a little bit aggressive. That could have gone horribly wrong. It could have been one of those things that were really traumatic, but it left a lasting impression on me as far as the importance of having integrity, a work ethic, and, basically, striving to do better. He really wanted me to go to college. He really wanted me to want to do better than he did. He always said, you're going to start at my shoulders. So that's taking me to Skid Row, was showing me his shoulders, I guess. I'm not exactly sure. I got the message evidently, but at the time it just kind of terrorized me.
And it stuck with you all these years later. Well, back then though is not like now. I think things aren't as safe for.
I wasn't safe then. What I'm talking about. It was not safe then.
Really?
Yeah, it was. Looking back at it, it was just like, there was no way that I could make that seem like it was, okay, this is a healthy parenting thing.
Yeah.
It really wasn't.
And I guess also the moral is, as parents, I'm a parent, and you really hold yourself to super high standards. And you're never going to do everything right. You may be lucky if you do it right 50% of the time.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. I mean, in a lot of ways, he was very strong parent. In other ways, not so much. And sometimes you had the whole situation where knowing that you're not as good in one area, and now you try to make up by doing something, better in others. But, ultimately you have to make sound decisions. And, the kids are not idiots. They can learn lessons without having to be so extreme. So do not take your kids to like Skid Row or something like that just to make a point. It's a bit much.
I'm glad it didn't scar you for life.
Oh, no, I mean, it made me grow. I don't know. It's weird.
All right. Well, that's a little parenting advice with Pratt. We got a lot more of these, so check out some other videos.